Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show, supported by H-Star Recruitment for the 2021 season. As we look ahead to Saints round 14 away clash this Friday evening at Wakefield, Trinity. The fans will be back on the road, supporting the club, barring any unforeseen late postponements, and looking back to getting back on our travels, Kev.
Yes, finally. Looking forward to it, to be honest. Maybe not the M62 on a Friday night, but yeah, looking forward to getting out there again.
I've heard rumours that most of that road is now finished.
No, I don't believe you. Not a chance.
They'll be starting closer to home.
Yeah, not a chance.
Christian Wolf has named a pretty strong 21-man squad. If we pull it up, I know we would have discussions, Kev, about what we would go with. And there we go. He's a pretty strong lineup. Theo Farge misses out, as does Ben Davis. But Joel Thompson and Matty Lees comes back in, and it's his opportunity to prove his fitness and his worth ahead of a trip to Wembley.
Yeah, I've just read that Christian Wolf said that Matty Lees will be playing reduced minutes, but it gives him his chance to get out there and prove his worth for Wembley. People will obviously remember 2019 and be worried about players going in undercooked, but this isn't 4 or 5 players going in undercooked. This is potentially one. And with no reserve rugby available, no chance of getting him any games, with games being called off here, there and everywhere, COVID-secure bubbles and stuff like that. This is his only chance, isn't it? And I'm sure he'll be trying to rip in as much as he can in those reduced minutes.
Obviously, Theo misses out. Christian Wolf said he's obviously played a lot of rugby this season. He's a bit battered and bruised, so just his chance to rest up for the week and be fresh ahead of Wembley next week. And that leaves the decision of who do we go with in the halves. Normally, you would suggest maybe it'd be Lewis Dodd would get his run. But with Wembley next week and potentially only having one back on the bench, do you play Jack Welsby? Or do you play both of them this week and rest a couple of others?
It's a tough one, that. The resting one, I'll start off with, is tough because I put it out on our social media last night. Will people rest players regardless of anything, whether they've got little injuries or whatever? And quite a few people came back and said no, they wouldn't. Some mentioned Murrayfield back in the day. Some mentioned 2019, and some mentioned the fact that we've just not had a lot of rugby recently, and they just play people regardless. I think it knocks on the head the potential of giving Johnny Lomax a week off if he's got a little knock with the likes of Theo Farge missing out. I don't think we'll go into it with a properly second choice halfback duo. I think Johnny will play. They may choose to rest Coote and have Walmsley. Not, please don't put Alex Walmsley at fullback. No offence to the lad. I'd rather have him propping. But Welsby at fullback.
After seeing some of his marauding runs this season, Kev, I'm sure he'd still manage to do some sort of a job.
Yeah, of course he would, yeah. Imagine facing Alex Walmsley, though, like just taking the ball through and facing Alex Walmsley from about a foot away, trying to get over the line with him on you. Not a chance.
Any chance that you see Dodd and Welsby as a halfback partnership?
No, not for me. As I say, I think that I think Johnny Lomax will play.
Okay, Kevin. If you could rest 4 players from that squad, who would you go with? Pick your 4.
If I could rest 4 players,
yeah.
Any 4. Lomax, Walmsley, Roby, Coote.
Okay. Which 4 will miss out?
That's a good one, isn't it? Not even thought about this. Well, we know Lees is going to play, so it's not going to be him. Listen, I can see him going full strength. I can see him completely ignoring everything with resting people, and Josh Sim missing out. I can see Dan Norman missing out. Aaron Smith missing out. Possibly Joel Thompson if he's still carrying a bit of a knock. I can see them being the ones who miss out.
Okay, I am actually going to go. I think Walmsley doesn't play. Obviously, he's been managing a bit of a knee injury during the season, hasn't he? So give him a week off. Yeah. Give Robes a week off. He doesn't need to go to Wakefield. He's been there enough times in his life. Lachlan Coote and Lomax. Yeah, they're the four I'd miss out. And I'd just...
Yeah.
I'd give Smith at 9, Dodd and Wellesby in the halves. Who are we playing fullback then? Interesting one.
Well, if you're doing that, then fullback could be Makinson
and Sim on the wing.
Sim, yeah, or in the centres with Nagama on the wing. That's it. If you, I don't necessarily disagree with you. That's the thing. I'm trying to think of what Christian Wolf's done in the past, and all his patterns of picking teams have been to go with the strongest available.
It's good to have this debate, though, isn't it? The fact that we're in a position that I don't think there is a wrong answer on Friday night. What I do think is that whatever team he does pick, people will know somewhere along the way.
Listen, people like us too, they'll have differing opinions on it. Where you could play a team of, let's say, Wellesby, Nagama, Sim, Percy, Grace, Lomax, Dodd, LMS, Smith, Parsi, I'm trying to look, Knowles, Thompson and Batchelor to start, and then pick your 4 subs. Norman gets to go off the bench. Amor gets to go off the bench. I don't know who else.
You know why I would pick Dan Norman this week? Because, and I'm touching wood on this, if we had any sort of injury crisis, isolation crisis, you don't want Dan Norman's essentially his first proper game to be Wembley.
Yeah, good point, well made. That's it. Yeah, I just, as I say, I'm hoping that there aren't too many changes, because you want to go over there. I said it in the instant fan reaction. You need to go over with a team that you're confident are going to win, not that you hope are going to win, because we're still fighting the battle. And over the past couple of years, teams have had a hangover after Wembley and kind of dropped off. So we need to make sure that we're still getting results. But because Dan Norman has had 30 seconds of action all season, you do want to see him. You do want him to kind of get that little bit of sharpness. I can almost see him playing the week after Wembley and giving people a rest then as well. So it will be perfect opportunity. I'm just wondering whether the limited minutes or reduced minutes that Matty Lees is going to play might swing the fact that Dan Norman won't be on the bench again. It's weighing everything up here that with Christian Wolf saying that he's going to play reduced minutes for Matty Lees. Will he then try and put Dan Norman on and put him on for a long stint? Or will he? Does he want his like 2 of his props having to do long minutes the week before you go to Wembley? It's a tough one. I'm glad I'm not choosing it.
It's interesting what you said there about it. It's not about sending a team over that we hope will win. And I think the thing with Wakefield as well is they've turned into a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, haven't they? They started off the year really, really poorly. I think they lost. I think they're opening 6 of the year, but they did. So they lost their opening 6. Some of them were close games. And then they went on a 3-match winning spell, beating Hull KR, Huddersfield and Lee all at home. Then lost to Warrington away. Then lost narrowly to Cass at home. And then beat Wigan, which probably most teams are doing these days. So probably can't read a lot into that one either. But they've won 4 games already out of the 12 this season. And it's not a bad return given on essentially how bad they were bridging between last and this season. So they'll be fully up for getting stuck into us on Friday night.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are, to be honest. Like when teams who are in the like kind of lower reaches of the league play Saints, it is almost a cup final to them, where they've got a free hit at it. they can pretty much go out there, do whatever they want to. They're not expected to win, so they've got that burden off the shoulders. So they go out and they raise the game. And I'm not saying, listen, Wakefield fans or players circle this one in the diaries and go, oh, here's the big match. But when it comes up to it, the players will raise the game because they know they've got to against one of the bigger teams in the league. Wakefield is always a tricky place to go. We say it every single year. It's I'm sorry, it's one of the worst grounds in the league. It's just a horrible place to go at times. It has got character, but there just seems to be that kind of, I don't know, you go over there and you're not fancying going over there. You're not turning around thinking, like, I'm quite open with one of my favourite rugby grounds is Hull's Stadium, magnificent stadium, especially under the lights on a Friday night. Wakefield's one of them that even if it gets into fans' heads, I know the players are professionals, but it must get into them when they go into a smaller changing room than if they're going into the one at Saints, the one at Wigan, the one at Warrington, the one at Hull. They're going into, they're going into smaller, kind of older facilities. And Wakefield used that to their advantage, probably as Burnley used to do in the Premier League before they had to bring the facilities up to standard, where teams would whinge about the facilities that they got to use. Listen, if you're the home team, you use that to your advantage.
It's strange, isn't it? I've always looked at Wakefield as one of them awkward teams that you don't want to go and play against. A bit of I don't want to say bogey team, but they always run us close, and maybe their Super League record against us doesn't necessarily reflect on how tough those games are. We've played them 51 times in Super League. They've only beat us on 9 occasions. But you look at our last 4 visits to the Mobile Rocket Stadium. 2019, we won by 6 in the regular season, but then 20 in the Super 8s. But then our 2 previous visits before that, we lost one of them in 2018 by 4 points. I think that was the game where Cooch kicking was terrible after he just joined us, or was that before? Maybe before. And then the previous visits that we won by 2. So these games are games that can be relatively tight, especially when they get a bit of a roll on. It's a pretty ferocious crowd they have down that side. It's very close to the pitch. They put pressure on, and it's a very big contrast between playing at the Mobile Rockets and then playing at Wembley Stadium 8 days later.
It certainly is. It certainly is. That's it. Have you got Wakefield's squad there?
You should say that. Because there we have.
There you go. They're missing a couple of good players in Bill Tupu and Tom Johnson there.
Glad that James Batchelor's turned up this week.
Yeah. But as you say, they've still got good players in there, and they've got like uncompromising players in there as well. So you look, listen, Fafita, the big bopper, he's a good forward. He's great for Wakefield. Arona, another big forward. Tanganoa, another big forward. Joe Westerman, a clever forward. Matty Ashurst, a good working forward. Kyle Wood, clever round the ruck. They've got the players, they can lay the platform. And as you say, it's always that kind of awkward team to play against. You look at even like the backs who they have got playing there. Kershaw, he's quick. Liam Kay's a good finisher. Reece Lyon's been called up for England. They've got the players there. And I've not even mentioned either of the halfbacks. And the halfbacks look like they're getting a nice little partnership going on. And that's obviously coincided with them stringing a couple of wins together. They're just, as you say, awkward and uncompromising.
Yeah, they've got halfbacks who, if you give them a chance, can wipe the floor with you.
Do you write them terrible jokes every week before you come on here? I'm convinced I'm gonna, when everything's taken away, I'm gonna find a book in your house of terrible gags about each one of the teams. Each one of the squads are just going to be one pun about one of the players who's playing.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yes, there we have it. Yeah.
Sorry, I've done you there, haven't I? Is it worth saying as well that this game isn't televised, is it?
No, but
It's our league only.
I was going to say, for our season ticket holders, they will be able to watch it on the Our League app.
Yeah, it's worth saying it's not on Sky, isn't it?
If you don't fancy jumping over to Wakefield on Friday night. Predictions then, Kev?
Depends what team we put out.
Will we win?
Yes. But it'll just be closer if we make a lot of changes, it'll be a lot closer than we want it to be.
Yeah. I'll go Saints by 14.
I was going to say 14. If we go out with a decent team, it'll be 14. If we don't, it'll be by 6 or 7.
Right. There's your bet for Friday night. And Kev, Saints by 14. Let's pay for the drinks for Wembley.
Yeah.
Right. Before we move on, talking of Wembley, when we get the squads off the website, the club have launched a Wembley Stadium range ahead of the final next week. And do you know what, Kev? We've always talked about, we come out with obviously all the ranges that we have, and it's all vibrant colours generally, and then we have the black and gold. And we've always said you want to be able to go in the shop and just buy a t-shirt with a Redvee on. And
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful jerseys. I like the little grey diamond effect that's on it. It reminds me of an England kit from the early 90s. The pattern on the shirts.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're old enough to remember Italian 90. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's
I had one of the little Coca-Cola World Cup balls with the little Italian green, white, and red stickman figure on.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
our age.
It's a nice set, that I like that. It's plain enough without being boring, isn't it? It's nice and just white with a red V, little bit of something about it. Love the St. Helens RFC on the back of the jacket as well. Just depends on if we get Wembley weather. If you're going to be wearing that jacket, or if you'll save it for a little bit later down the line when we get to all.
I believe, Kev, that it does double up. So if the Wembley weather is bad, apparently, if you undo that zip and take it off, it goes over your head.
Fair enough.
But yeah, really nice gear. It's in the club shop now. I believe, according to the website, it's in limited numbers. So you probably have to get down there quick to get one before Wembley. And essentially, Kev, that is it for the preview show.
Yeah, the starter before the main course next week, really.
If this was a starter, what starter would it be?
Soup. Just soup and a roll. Hearty fur, that's what it would be. Just soup and a roll.
Would you roll have butter on?
Yeah, but it'd be one of them little, really small squares in a.
It hasn't been melted. It hasn't been melted enough, and you've really got to scrape it over.
Yeah.
And like the stadium, it's going to be half cold by the time it gets to your table as well.
Yeah, probably so.
There you go. We're gonna have these every week. We're gonna have these every week now. So we've had our ice creams, we've had our starters.
It's a main course next week, so
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will join you in deepest, darkest Wakefield, but hopefully a winning instant fan reaction on Friday night. See you soon, Kev.
See you later.